Hi, this is Dan Aykroyd. He's progressive. He's beautiful. He's thoughtful. He's intelligent. He's powerful. He's positive. He is Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
Stephen Cuoco. At what point did you realize when you started looking into public relations, started looking into casting, you know what, Stephen, I'm pretty damn good at this. I think we should keep following this path.
It really is effortless, Donovan. I mean, it would be the same of how you do your show. When you bring your all to the table with great intentions and no expectations, it just makes life fun and it makes the career of choice fun. My goal is to get on Big Brother. I want to be on that show in the worst way.
You heard it here. He wants on. Yeah. Big Brother.
I want on.
You know, there was recently a big social media challenge of people putting mustard on watermelon and eating it. Did you try that?
No, I never even heard of that. No.
Yeah, it's like Stephen.
We normally don't go that far to bring in the rest of the part of the interview I had with Mr. Donovan on the How Did show. But this time I wanted to do it. It felt special. We've got Jeffrey Earnhardt here today. I've been having a great time getting to know this guy. He's an incredible person, awesome human being, one of the most kindest people in the world, and such a gentleman. I'm going to tell you, he's going to make a great husband, a great father, just an all-around awesome person. Awesome, awesome, awesome human being. We're going to get to that introduction. Right now, what I'm going to share is tip of the day, tip of the year, tip of the month, whatever you want to apply this to. Here's my opening thought to you. We only have one body in this life, one chance to protect and nourish the vessel we live in, one chance to treat ourselves with love and respect. You matter, and how you show up for yourself and push yourself every day matters. And that's important. Don't take anything that you can do for yourself for granted. Because honestly, you can do whatever you want. You can make life however you want. And it really is something. I had to pick up my vehicle today from the dealership, and I had this most incredible Uber ride down there. And when I first put in my request, it wasn't going through. I'm here waiting 6 minutes. I thought, oh my God, there's no traffic. I got to get down here. I want to get my car. I'm interviewing Jeffrey Earnhardt today. Got this interview going on. Just got invited to another event over up at the Speedway by Davey Hamilton Jr. He's got the Open Wheel Showdown happening. Heading on over there today to support and do my journalist media, brilliance over there and network and find those stories. And yes, we're going to have Davey Hamilton Jr. on as a guest in an upcoming interview. If not this week, hopefully next week. And what was amazing is that drive. I'm glad I didn't get that happening. That didn't go through the first time, that I canceled the ride and then rebooked the ride again through Uber. And that was the most phenomenal 7, maybe even 10 minutes of a conversation of chatting with this, his name's Bon, B-O-N, and just the energy. We're talking about energy and the way he cares for himself. He works in the medical industry. His wife works in ICU. I'm like, what are you doing driving an Uber? Like, you can't need the money. You guys can't need the money. But you never know. We don't know people's financial situations. I mean, honestly, there are tons of people in this world that are perceived as being mega multimillionaires and famous and rich and everything else, but they have no idea what goes on behind the scenes to sustain that. However, it was very kind. He's the second Uber driver that gave me his number, but for him, I said, would you be interested in being my private driver? Because I said, sometimes getting an Uber isn't always easy. Sometimes, depending on the day, I want to get somewhere faster. Also, I have friends that come into town. They don't want to have to deal with limo services and deal with all the hype of how Vegas charges tourists here. So they really want to be more of having that local experience and not feel like they're being taken advantage of. So I'm extremely happy to have now another Uber driver, but someone I know that not only am I looking forward to hopefully building a friendship with, we really connected, but also someone that I can help enrich his life. And I know he's or has enriched mine, and we will continue. And I'm excited to really, really continue to just every day, like my day was not planned. I did not plan to have my car in a shop. Make a long story short, three's a charm. This time, the third time around, I ended up with a nail in a tire, but instead of it in the grooves, in the trim, it ended up in the sidewall. So I'm glad I didn't deal with the blowout. I didn't have to deal with, and this was at night, I ended up finding it. I didn't have to deal with a flat tire. I wasn't on the side of the road needing to wait a couple hours for a tow truck or, maintenance or somebody to come by. So it really worked out great of thinking of all these blessings. So it was worth a $40 Uber ride. I know that sounds expensive. It all depends on where you live, the time of day you take it. But it was $40 so well worth it because in that investment, I made a connection. We both have each other's information, and you never know what can come out of it because he was telling me of the celebrities and the TV personalities and attorneys and people that's been in his SUV that he's picked up. And I said, all right, I'm a publicist. I'm a journalist. I'm in media. Everyone always needs someone like me. So here you go. And if someone signs a contract with me and they pay me, I will bounce you back a referral fee. And you can't beat that. Lastly, I want to go ahead and share this. And I just got this today. This week in NFL history. All right. Pro Football Hall of Fame running back Jim Brown never missed a game. He played all 122 Cleveland Brown games, including postseason, over his 9 NFL seasons from 1957 to 1965. And during those 9 seasons, week after week, opponents obviously game planned to stop him. However, big shout out to him. And that is This Week in NFL History. I cover NFL. I interview NFL athletes. When this came to me, I definitely wanted to add this into the morning lineup. And with that, our biggest headliner for today, you all know him best, NASCAR Xfinity Series driver. He's an avid outdoorsman, and he claims to be a horrible speller. But we're not going to let anybody know that because I have an editor, and anytime he needs me or if he needs the assistance of my editor, I will set him up. His name is Mr. Jeffrey Earnhardt. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Stephen, I appreciate you having me on today.
It's well worth it. You just got back from, I don't know if you would consider it a holiday or a trip, but what did you do? Was it everything you set out to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, a good buddy of mine lives up in New York and has a bunch of hunting land, and got the opportunity to go up there and hang out with him and get outdoors a little bit and enjoy a little bit of a stress relief. I tell everyone the reason I love anything outdoors is because that's my way of decompressing over crazy race life that we live. So had a blast, had a great time, and got to hang out with some really good friends and enjoy time with them. So I would always call that a success.
Oh yeah, definitely a success. You did a really great video most recently for Thanksgiving season. How was that for you? What did you do? Did you do everything like what you said in the video? Did you have really good family or friends, connections? Did you top it off with a couple cocktails? Did you let loose a little bit and not get too stuffed, too fat?
Oh, I definitely got too stuffed and too fat, but no, I had a great time with friends and family and girlfriend's family, and ate a lot of delicious food and enjoyed a couple adult beverages as well. But really just enjoyed spending time with the great people that I've been blessed with in my life. And obviously can't have them all there at the same time, unfortunately. But if I could, I would have had every single one that I consider a great friend there, because it's definitely a nice time to be thankful for, and remember that we're all blessed with a lot of great people in our lives, and it's a good time to bring everyone together. So, and like I said, you can get really fat and happy after you get done eating. So it was a lot of fun though.
You had shared and posted from the OBX, the weekend at OBX. You had wrote, "I have made in this crazy life we live friends that are there through the good and the bad, and they are hard to find. You're feeling blessed, thankful, friendsgiving. I appreciate that share. The video looks incredible. You guys are on a beach. You're by the fire. You're there with the dogs. You got that TV screen or something going on where it looks like you're watching a video with Adam Sandler on there. Was that a big movie screen, or what was that size?
It's just like a little small projector. It's probably no bigger than, I would say not much bigger than the size of your iPhone Max these days. I mean, it was pretty impressive, the quality of the image that it projected off. Can't remember the brand name, but it's a lot of, we do a lot of camping, overlanding stuff, and a buddy of mine, he has a business where they outfit people's rigs, Queen City Overlanding here in Charlotte, and he's the one that kind of puts on that whole OBX trip every year. We try to go twice a year, and he had purchased it for that trip, and it was pretty cool. We sat there. Everyone had to bring a dish for the trip, because you're out on the island. You take the ferry across, and you're stuck out there till the ferry. You're scheduled for the ferry trip back. So we typically do about 4 days, and everyone was assigned to bring a side dish, and two of the guys did a ham. Well, one of them did a ham, the other one did a turkey, and we had Friendsgiving on the beach, and it was awesome, and a great time to just spend that quality time with friends that, like I said, are always there for you no matter what, and no matter how bad it gets, they're there and they got your back. So it was a lot of fun to do that trip. I've done it 3 times now, and look forward to every one of them from this point on.
Do they have a local bathroom by there, or how do you guys do a shower? Because I see it's on the beach. It's like, okay, is there a restroom?
Most of us have like a little shower tent off the side of our rigs. Folds out and has like a little shower room. You got a little propane instant hot water heater that gives you nice warm water, so you can get a bath a shower every couple of days at least. But and then you just bring you a bucket and put your bag in it. It's roughing it a little bit, but it's well worth it, that's for sure.
Oh, well, that's a little bit too roughing it. I think I would find a beach that has something like a public bathroom at least, and I forbid myself to even use those. God bless you.
They do have public restrooms right where you get off the ferry, but we try to get as far away from all the mess and people as we can.
You've been in the world of racing for a very long time. I would say, my opinion, I feel that you're seasoned. What are the highs and lows to be in the profession that you're in? Because, I just interviewed Connor Daly. He shared a great, or better understanding about IndyCar, NASCAR, and F1. I love the way he broke it down. But from your perspective, because you guys seem to come from definitely 2 different worlds, what do we need to know or better understand who you are as an athlete, a professional driver, and why NASCAR? Why NASCAR Xfinity? When it seems like you could do anything with your life.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the Earnhardt name is pretty a pretty well known name in the racing world, and my grandfather, Dale Sr., was one of the greatest in our sport, and had such a strong fan base, and was just such a impactful guy. And, before him, there was my great grandpa Ralph, and then after my grandpa, then you had my dad, Kerry Earnhardt, then you had, Dale Earnhardt Jr., my uncle, and even my Aunt Kelly racing. So, grew up around it my whole life. And, I guess that's the reason I ended up doing it. Yeah, and honestly, I got a late start. I didn't start racing until I was 14. Just was growing up being a kid, and then finally one day when I was 12, was like, man, I want to go race. And there was a series at the local dirt track where my stepmom's from, and it was 12 to 18-year-olds could race in this class. And I was like, I want to race. And my dad told me no. I begged him for 2 years, and he finally said, all right, we'll go find a car and sponsors, and if you do that, then you can race. And I was like, all right. So went to some family friends in the area, Mark Verhon and Suzuki right there in Wytheville, Virginia. Tim Topham, the owner, he actually had a car for that series sitting there for sale. And he said, all right, well, I got the car, so you can go find someone to help, financially, and you'll be set. And another really great friend of ours, Jim Hilton, owns Cedar Springs Fish Farm and Cedar Springs Sportsman's Lodge. Raises trout, stocks the creek for people to come fish. And he had sponsored some guys up there as well. So I was like, hey, my dad said if I can get a car and someone to help financially, I can go racing. And he was like, well, let's do it. So went back to my dad. I was like, hey, I did what you said. I guess I'm going racing, and took off from there. But man, it's been a roller coaster. People don't realize, just because of my last name, it doesn't mean that it was always just handed to me. And people like to think that way. And I was very blessed. I've been very blessed my whole life, but more blessed at certain times. And probably didn't realize exactly the opportunity that I was given because I was at such a young age, and thought the streets were paved with gold. When I first started racing eventually ended up driving for my grandpa's company at Earnhardt Incorporated. I just was a kid that was making a lot of money, and just thought, it was going to be an easy ride. And then, things kind of went south with DEI, and they were not really any longer a race team, and had to figure it out from there. And, it's definitely not been an easy ride, but I've been, again, blessed by having amazing people get around me, and surround myself with good people, sponsors, and just people that want to see me, continue to be able to chase my dream of driving in NASCAR. Obviously the money is what's the difficult part. And, unfortunately I don't have a multi-billion-dollar dad to pay for me to be in a car every weekend. So you have to fight and work your butt off to try and find sponsors. And that's really the hardest part in our business. I tell people all the time, the easiest part of my job is climbing in the race car and strapping in and going racing. It's crazy when you think about it like that, but it truly is.
The good thing of it is, Jeffrey, is you had a childhood. You said that you started late. You started when you were 14. But how many people, especially coming from the type of family that you come from, very athletic, like you said, it's the name. There are times to where kids start extremely early, or parents require them to start very early, especially if you're, of a certain ethnicity or religious background, and kids don't have childhoods. They basically have to start learning how to live the life of university by the age of 5, if not beforehand, to be a prodigy. You were able to live a life and be a kid.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's crazy. I go to the local dirt track or go-kart dirt track here in Mooresville, North Carolina, and you see these kids that are 5 years old strapped in these go-karts and going out there ripping them around at 40 mile an hour. And I'm like, man, I don't even know if I was walking at 4 or 5 years old. I'm like, it's hard to believe. But, when you look at it in a perspective of, all right, say, some of these kids, Chase Elliott, well, he's not a kid now, but, some of these drivers that started at that really, really young age, it's like, if you look at it as starting your career when you're 5 years old driving go-karts to, 30 years old in the Cup Series, that's a pretty long career. And, it's crazy to believe that, kids are able to go out there and drive like that. And sometimes, you almost wonder if, the parents are pushing it too hard, or, you hope they don't ever get burnt out of it, because, it's something that they love to do. And, sometimes when you start too young, like you said, you miss out on the childhood stage of your life to where there is no care in the world. And we all wish we could go back to that point in time. But, you do hope that, they are enjoying it, and it's not something that's just being pushed upon them to where it's going to burn them out.
There was an article published by Nick DeGroot. This was on motorsport.com. This is back on October 18th of 2016. This is what was written by something or a statement you had said. It's my first Cup Series race at Talladega, my first race with BK Racing, the first time anyone from our family competes in a Toyota, and it's the 25th anniversary of my grandfather's victory at Talladega. Having this opportunity with an iconic American partner like Starter is an incredible honor. I can't remember being so pumped up for a race, and sincerely appreciate our friends at Starter for their support. What are your thoughts with me reading that to you of something that you had answered in a Q&A?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, another reminder to be thankful for the opportunities I've been given, and the opportunities I've been blessed with in life, because they don't come easy, and there's a million other people in this world that would give their arm and leg to be able to be in my shoes and get these opportunities. And, I'm one of 38 drivers that get to strap in a car and race on the weekend. So that's something that I definitely, want to remind myself to be thankful for. And it is cool when you hear, comments that you made in the past, and, makes you just sit back and really think about, how blessed I've been in life, and hopefully continue to be blessed as my career continues in NASCAR, and keep the legacy going that, I know my grandpa worked his butt off to build, and, and continuing on chasing my dreams. It's definitely cool to look back on those times and think about, how special they really were.
Earlier this year, August 6th to be exact, within that vicinity, Jeffrey Earnhardt treats U.S. Army Rangers breakfast before Michigan NASCAR race. You want to tell us more about that and that experience?
Yeah, we ran an Army Rangers car and in the Michigan race, and had the opportunity to bring a bunch of Army Rangers out to the track for the weekend, and met them at breakfast the morning of the race, and hung out and got to listen to their stories, and how much fun they were having just being there that weekend, and just being thankful for a chance for them to get away and decompress and have a little fun, and show support to our troops and all the men and women that sacrifice their lives to give us the freedom to be able to go out here and drive race cars and do all the things we love in life. That's something that definitely never needs to be forgotten. And I've always been a huge supporter of our military and veterans, police, firemen. They're the ones that keep us safe, and they don't always get the best rap on the streets or in the media, but I can tell you I've definitely been thankful for them in many occasions, and as you hear their stories, you learn to understand that they've gone through a lot of stuff that some of us probably could never even come close to handling. And it's cool to just show appreciation and thanks to those men and women that do that, because it's they're better people than I am, that's for sure.
Speaking of sponsorships, support, you and I we've had conversations about this when we think about sponsorships. What is the misconception when we think of athletes, someone like you, anyone that is in an industry, a sport, a profession where sponsors and advertisers are the artery? They are essential for anything to happen and to be able to successfully make it happen. So when we think about NASCAR, when we think about you, Mr. Jeffrey Earnhardt, and the type of sponsorships that are out there, I've looked over your deck. I believe the price ranges are reasonable. I'm surprised they are not a lot more because of who you are in your name. Really, they are reasonable. I mean, anybody that is a millionaire, a multimillionaire, a billionaire, whatever. I mean, this is like your amounts are like a $4 coffee to a millionaire or a billionaire at Starbucks. To make it very clear, where does that money go? Why is it so important and essential, not just for you to make a living, because this is your profession. You're not working all these hours and getting paid every Friday, and you don't have all these luxuries like other people do, because you're doing something that's so very different, and you're putting yourself, the faith of who you are and what you believe in and what your passion is about. But these sponsorships and being able to find support on a steady basis, because they can change every season and every event. You will never have the same sponsors from your last event into your next event.
Yeah. I mean,
how important is that money?
It's huge. People always wonder, why we're not in, the top ride. And it's like, well, if you want to write a check for, $3 to $5 million, depending on what team it is, I'd be happy to take it and drive for that big team. But, it's all about money. And, there's a famous line in NASCAR. It's called "Speed costs money. How fast do you want to go?" And, it's the truth. And it just comes down to the resources and, equipment and, personnel that these big teams are able to have that, cost money. It's not, that stuff don't come free. It's stuff you got to pay for. And, the saying you get what you pay for, it's 100% true in our sport. If you're, going to spend $50,000 a race instead of $150,000, well, you're probably going to get $100,000 less of performance than what the other guy is. So, and that the money goes to, getting the car to the track on the weekends, paying for the pit crews, paying for, the engine lease, the engine lease program for the years of almost $1 million alone. So, it adds up quick. A set of tires is $2,500 a set. We run 6 sets a weekend. So it doesn't take long to add all that money up and be able to show where the money's going. But, at the same time, as a sponsor, you want to get, you want to get a return on whatever you're spending and see value in what you're putting your money into. And, everyone wants to think that I've had it easy. And like I said, I've been very blessed, and there's people that have had it a lot worse than me, but I've also busted my ass to get to where I'm at and to continue to race, year in and year out. But, I know, how valuable that dollar is, because I've worked my butt off sometimes wondering if I'm going to, be able to make the money I need to live. It's not easy to ask of, $3 million, $5 million, whatever it is from someone when how valuable that money actually is. So we try to do all we can to make sure that they're getting the return that they want and they're happy with their partnership, because if they're happy with the results that we've given them, then it'll be a partnership that you hope that will last forever. And I'm blessed. One of my partners I have currently is Forever Lawn. They sell and install synthetic turf, and they've been a true blessing to me, not just in my career but in my life as a whole. They've helped me a lot in my personal life to just be a better person and want to continue to work hard. So they've been a huge blessing in my career and my life, and just, and just really means a lot to me. But, you work your butt off whenever people, have that kind of impact on your life. You want to work your butt off to make sure that they see that return. And that's what we try to do with any partner that we bring in, just to make sure that, we're doing our part. And, if we do that, then everyone should be happy, and everything should be a lot of fun. And we can try and show them a return on what they've invested. Because, like I said, it's a lot of money, and I get that. So we try to do our best.
When we think about the money, and if you can enlighten us a little bit more, you have this money. It's there for you to make a living, to take care of yourself, pay your bills. Are you also, out of that money, are you legally and financially responsible for the post repair of the cars? Is it to where you're using that money to say $2-3 million? Are you leasing the vehicle? Like, what exactly, to make it very clear? Because you're also, you're helping me to better understand it. Where does that money really go into? You said $2,500 for tires and everything else, but at the same time, it's like, what do you really have to show for it if you don't own the car?
Yeah. So, basically the way NASCAR works is, say you got a sponsor for $3.5 million, and you go, all right, well, we got this money set aside. Now, what race team do we want to drive for? And then you shop around and figure out what race team you want to drive for. So then you go to them, you say, hey, what's it cost to run for your program and compete with y'all? And, they say, $3.5 million. You're like, all right, well, I got $3.5 million sponsorship, sign an agreement to race for them with, X sponsor that you have. And that money goes to the team, and then the team will pay me my salary for driving the race car. And, in return, well, like I said, we try to do as much B2B activation as we can. Conferences, trade shows, whatever it is that, helps, grow or show a return on that company's investment is what we try to go out of our way to do. So, obviously they get the whole car wrapped on track, and, that's considered advertisement, but, we try to be proactive and give them a lot more than just that. I think the days of just slapping a sticker on the car and putting it on the racetrack are kind of, dwindling away. So we try to do more and make it where, there is a noticeable return on their investment, to where, say if Coca-Cola's your sponsorship and you go to talk to Wendy's, who's on Joe Blow's car, and you say, hey, y'all put Coca-Cola in y'all's stores and we'll give y'all space on the race car. That's a B2B play that, you would try to do. So it's definitely more challenging, than it used to be back in the old days, where the sponsors called you wanting to slap their sticker on the car. But that's just all part of adapting and overcoming and figuring it out. If you want it bad enough, you find a way to do it. And that's kind of what we've tried to do, and try to be men of our word and give people what they want out of our program.
When I think about this, and as you're sharing, and I'm processing this in my head as I'm seeing it through the lens of, say, a producer and director for a film, a music artist that's signed with a label, do you do tours at all? Like, let's say if it's, so we're going to go to your sponsors. So one of your main sponsors, and you shared about it, was Forever Lawn. So let's say if you were, like I said, I'm seeing this as if you're a music artist. Would you go around and do many events at all talking about Forever Lawn, or doing like what I consider meet and greets, and then you just have a step and repeat with the Forever Lawn on there, maybe the NASCAR logo possibly your name. And then what you're doing is you're spreading awareness about not only who you are and the type of car that you're going to be racing and the event that you're going to be out at, but at the same time, in these speaking engagements, you're doing press, you're doing, fan materials, once again, on those step and repeat carpets. Potentially, if there could be other investors or sponsors or fans there that could get more involved, maybe go ahead and hire Forever Lawn for something, possibly invest in you. Am I getting that correctly of how I processed everything you just said to me?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say most of our events are more like trade show based. So being at the trade shows, signing autographs, mingling with people coming by the booth, talking to them about the turf and, what the capabilities are, pros, cons, all that stuff. I would say trade shows is more of what we do, and we call that a meet and greet. But any events, Forever Lawn's got 90-something dealers all across the U.S. And, if one of those dealers has, a contract they're working on and having a hard time getting it through, and they feel like, there's value to me, coming out and being present to hang out and eat dinner with whoever that contract's with. And, we do that. Like, we go above, like I said, we try to go above and beyond, whatever someone's expectations are and make sure that they're happy in the end result. Because, like I said, if they're not happy, then it's not good for anyone. And, definitely don't want to have someone feeling like they didn't get their money's worth or get value out of our partnership. And so that's why we try to do anything we can, trade shows, meet and greets, show up at birthday parties if we have to. You never know what someone might ask, but definitely been through a lot and seen a lot in my days. But like I said, as long as we are of our word and try to exceed expectations, then we know that we did everything we could to make it a successful partnership.
Give us some more clarity, or more specifically, I'm going to ask myself, when we think about the level of car that you're able to get for a race, depending on the resources and finances that you have, can you be the best driver in the world, yet the quality of the car that you're using to race, can that make or break the performance of what you can do as an athlete and a professional driver? Is it all on the car? Is it all on you? Or is it 50-50, the car and you?
I would say it's both. I've ran for teams that had such a low budget. We ran on scuffed tires that other teams were throwing away, so, how do you expect to go out running guys that are bolting new tires on when you're bolting their used ones on? So, it is the whole package. Everything's got to be there, from the race car itself, the setup, the crew chief, the pit crew guys that, do the pit stops, the driver. He's got to be able to be physically fit and, not fall out of the seat whenever it's, 140 something degrees inside the race car in the middle of summer. So it's truly the whole package. Some people are like, oh, I just put a good motor in it. And it's like, well, you put a good motor in it, well, you're going to be going faster down the straightaway. When you get to the corner, it's really not going to want to turn. So you really have to have the full package, and that's how you become successful in racing. And you can't really credit it to just one thing that you need. It's the whole shebang. You can't just take the best driver and stick him in a crappy car and expect he's gonna win the race. He's got to have the tools to be able to go out there and show his craft and show what he's capable of doing. So, there's definitely guys that can overperform their equipment, but when you get to the top 5 guys in the running order for that weekend, it's the best of the best with the best equipment. So it's pretty hard to outrun them with just talent. You got to have a car that's capable of it at the same time.
It's almost having to be so strategic, yet to be able to improvise just as good as you doing several attempts of trying to do the 360 on a waterboard.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got that. I wasn't meaning to pull a funny, but because I found and I remember seeing that video, what you just shared is what I had seen on your Instagram and remembering you doing or trying to do that 360, or actually you did do it, but you held on as long as you could.
Yeah. It's like anything, you got to have repetition and seat time, and you got to be doing it with the best equipment that allows you to be able to do it. So, I feel like it's like that with a lot of things in life, and even everyday life. You get out of it what you put in, and if you don't have everything in the right order in life, then you're gonna have a hard time achieving your goals. So,
is trying to achieve your goals. And it's kind of a funny, because you're going to know where I'm coming at with this, but I'm also being serious at the same time. You know how to fish. You're an avid fisher. Is going through life, when we think about sponsorships and support and everything that else for you to even find balance and how you take care of your physique, is it just the same as catching a catfish, especially the size of catfishes you catch?
I mean, I feel like the catfishing is a little bit easier, but I mean, it is, it's a lot of time. Doing the noodling stuff, we put a lot of work and time into getting out there to try and make sure we're catching big fish, and you always want to catch that next biggest fish, and keep improving every year. And I guess it's the same, with racing and with sponsors. It's like, you have great sponsors, but you want more, because then that allows you to chase your dream even more, and race more, race in different series if you want. And same with driving a race car. It's like, all right, you had a good race. All right, well, get some more. Let's go. I feel like people used to get so mad at Kyle Busch when he would be mad at the world for running second. And I'm like, how can you be mad at the guy? Like, he didn't win the race, and he's a competitor and he wants to win. I love the guy. I think he's awesome. I think, his drive to want to be the absolute best out on the track every week in and week out, at every little thing. I mean, he dissects his race down to just incredible depths that whenever I, got to understand a little bit of it, I was like, holy cow, this guy, he gets it. He gets that it takes every little piece to go out there and be successful. And I feel like he could win 100 races in a row, and he's still gonna be mad wanting to win more. So that's how you got to be. And you got to be that way in life. You got to wake up every morning and figure out, how to make each day better, and keep pushing forward. And that's how you achieve success in my eyes. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel about it.
I appreciate that. And before we close out, I want to go back to the August 14th video of you teaching us and showing us how to carve a catfish. You were talking about and sharing, when we think of Dowstrong, the knife that you were using, they're actually one of your sponsors, right?
Yeah, correct. They're some of the best knives I've ever used. I mean, their material's amazing, sharp as can be, hold a razor sharp edge. I mean, people, say, they just say that stuff because they're paying them. Well, yeah, they're paying us, but I truly love their products. They're some of the best knives I've ever gotten the opportunity to put my hands on, and make carving up the catfish a lot easier.
And those are the same knives. I knew they were. I went back to it. Those are the same knives in a video back on November 17th, where you're cutting a salami, where you guys are on a beach over there.
Yeah, it was
on OBX.
Yeah. That's I have a really nice knife roll that Dowstrong makes as well, and I put all my favorite knives in there and take them with me when I travel to make sure I have what I need whenever it comes time to chopping some stuff up. So they've been a lot of fun to work with as well. They're just a really cool brand with really incredible knives, and got the opportunity to do a lot of fun stuff with those guys as well. And look forward to many more years with those guys. I know during COVID they took a pretty tough lick just like everyone else, but we've worked through continuing our partnership and hopefully continue it for many more years, and helping them sell some incredible knives, because every time I put one in someone's hands, they're really impressed. And that's the whole goal, is to get the word out there of how awesome their stuff really is.
I would love to find out what my good friend Matt Wright would say from Naked and Afraid XL, the legendary champion. I don't know if you ever watched the show, but I would love to know what Matt would have to say about those knives, because those are a nice set, and he loves his knives.
We'll have to find a way to get some in his hands, see what his opinions are on.
I can set you up with him. I'll put in do a group text, let him know, and go from there. I mean, that would be awesome. And he's actually, I don't believe he's in Florida, so he's not that far from you. Yeah, awesome. He lives in Florida, and he also lives in Colorado.
Oh, nice. Two great states.
Absolutely. I'll give him a call.
That'd be cool. I'd like to hear his opinion.
Any closing thoughts at all?
I mean, just I just want everyone to continue to be thankful and blessed in life, because tomorrow's not promised to any of us, and if you get to wake up on the right side of the dirt every morning, I consider that a pretty good day. But work hard, don't give up on dreams. That's one of the big things that people ask me, like, how do I become a race car driver? And I always tell these kids, I'm like, man, just don't give up. You'll get a million no's and people will knock you down 100 times, but you got to get back up and keep fighting. And that's how you become successful. So, don't give up and keep fighting and keep pushing. If you want it bad enough, you find a way to get it. So, that's probably the biggest thing I try to remember. And, it's easy. We all have days that aren't that great, but when you stop and you sit down, you just kind of run those things through your head. You're like, man, I'm blessed to be here on this earth today, and do what I love for a living. And when it gets hard, I just remind myself to work my butt off, because if I want it bad enough, I'll make it happen. So.
And you already are. Excuse me. You already are making it happen, and I'm impressed. I'm looking forward to catching one of your races live. You already know I'm here to support you any way and every way that I can. It's truly an honor to be connected. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm grateful that you know yourself and you trust yourself well enough to know what decisions to make, what relationships to get involved with when we think of, personal, professional. You're moving in the right direction. You're 34 years old. You've got so much to look forward to. You're healthy. You're fit. You've got a great career. And once again, I definitely got to find out from Matt Wright what he's going to say about them knives.
Heck yeah. Definitely got to find that out.
Any shout outs at all? Anything that you want to highlight before we close out today?
Obviously, I just want to thank everyone that has allowed me to get to where I am in life and in my career, to be able to continue to chase my dreams. Working on signing 3 to 4 race deal right now for next season. Can't spread all the details yet, but unfortunately that's all the races we have sold so far. But like I said, we're gonna keep working and pushing hard to get more sold. But thankful for everyone for continuing their support. Dallas Strong, Advanced Material Handling. Like I said, I've been blessed to have a lot of great partners that have allowed me to continue to chasing my dreams, and I always want to make sure that people hear those names, because they're the only reason I get to do what I love.
I appreciate them. I appreciate you. Thank you again, Jeffrey, for being with us today on Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio. We'll be having you on again soon.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Anytime, every time. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in live on air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio. Definitely check the schedule on the iOS app or power985.com for all upcoming shows. We will be re-airing the show with Mr. Jeffrey Earnhardt, NASCAR Xfinity Series driver and an avid outdoorsman. And he claims to be a horrible speller, but once again, we will always have an editor on hand to make sure nobody knows better. Have a great day, everyone. A great weekend. I'm still surprised it's Friday, but yes, it's Friday. I'm looking forward to all the exciting things that are happening that are coming up this year. I know you are as well. And my advice to you is this: do not spend your money or waste your money on somebody this holiday season who didn't care to call you, who didn't care to invite you out for lunch or coffee, who ignored you almost, if not all year long. Do not spend or waste your money on getting a Christmas or a holiday gift to tell somebody, hey, thank you for forgetting about me and not allowing me to feel important in your life. Here's a Christmas gift in holiday season. All I have to say is F that. Keep your money to yourself. Buy yourself a Christmas gift. Or more importantly, you can sponsor Mr. Jeffrey Earnhardt's upcoming race, help him get better cars, help with the sponsorships and everything else. Big shout out to all of his sponsors, Forever Long. We also have Midnight Moon. We've got Dow Strong, and then also Advanced Material Handling Systems. All great things, Jeffrey Earnhardt. You can head on over to his website at jeffreyearnhardt.com. We'd love to see one of your sponsorships. I'm looking forward to one day having my company logo on his page, and I'm not BSing. I mean that with all my heart. And when I come in, I like to come in big. I'm very competitive. I like to be number one. I don't mean to sound like Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory, but yes, I do want it, and I want it now. Also, additionally, all great things, Mr. Jeffrey Earnhardt. Head on over to his Instagram at jearnhardt1. Have a great holiday season, everyone.
Friend us on your socials and let's connect.